The elections of 1784 were held from Tuesday, October 12th, 1784, and Tuesday, December 21st of the same year. The presidential election was from October 12th to November 5th, and the vice presidential election was held from November 10th to December 21st. Firstly, let's talk about Morris's 4 years as president. Morris was inaugurated on January 4th, 1781, and began his term quite strongly. His immediate concern was abolishing slavery. However, this was rejected at the time. Maybe if Morris had run in 30 years, he could have accomplished it, but sadly he didn't. Morris didn't face any scandals during his term, was pretty damn lucky. He also made it so you no longer needed to own property to vote, which meant all white men could vote now. Adams was vice president and often got into arguments with Morris. Morris decided that the vice presidential elections must be held after the president wants, so the VP doesn't end up with an enemy president like what happened in 1780 with Morris and Adams. Now, the build up to the election. Both Morris and Adams would run for president again. This was both a third term running, and yet Morris was still 32. Morris was still relatively popular at the end of his term too, but he had lost some popularity after he reportedly disrespected Benjamin Franklin during a speech, calling Franklin an old gluttonous piglet, which definitely made Franklin's supporters furious. Adams' popularity had gone down slightly, unfortunately, due to the people suspecting him to be a monarchist, which was bad because, alright, the British do that, and no one likes Britain. As autumn began to set in, everyone began to announce their running. Let's look at our presidential candidates. First, we have 32-year-old Governor Morris going in for a second term. The first president or vice president to actually seek re-election. He was from New York and was still rich. He had been president for 4 years and still remained decently popular. However, his disrespect of Franklin was not something Americans were pleased to hear. Morris called him a fat pig. He really wanted payback for when Franklin supporters called him a newborn worm in 1776, I guess. Secondly is a 49-year-old Vice President, John Adams, from Massachusetts. His popularity declined less than Morris's did too, so it was likely Adams would have a better percentage of the votes this time. Adams said he had no issue with becoming president or vice president, but he said he didn't want to lose. He exclaimed that he still had more to accomplish in office. He also was the oldest main candidate running. He got made fun of for it too. Plus, he was still shaped like a ball. Thirdly, a new candidate, the 39-year-old John Jay from New York. John Jay was another founding father, just like Morris and Adams. He had quite a political career before this, serving as the U.S. Minister to Spain under both Washington and Morris. Cool! He also had a downright disgusting haircut. Like look at that! What the hell is that? He's the origin of the phrase "yee-ah" haircut. That haircut definitely made him less popular. He was also born into a wealthy family and also believed in a strong government. Finally, we got to 34-year-old Thomas Pinckney from South Carolina. Hooray! Someone not from the Northeast. At the time, he actually hadn't held political office. He often called himself a man of the common man. He also used his military service in the South Carolina 1st Regiment in the Revolutionary War from 1775 to 1777. Alright, that's our runners. Time to see how they campaigned. Like last time, Morris did a lot of campaigning. Less than last year, surprisingly. He wasn't as eager to win this time like he was in 1780. Yeah, Morris, the job of president is stressful. Jay did a bit campaigning in New York and Virginia, and that's about it for Jay. He was also endorsed by Franklin at this time. Then we get Pinckney, who he did way too much campaigning. The issue was only in South Carolina. He didn't go to the more populous northern states to campaign, only in South Carolina, specifically in his hometown of Charlestown, which will later be renamed to Charleston. Adams campaigned a bit in Massachusetts, New York, and Pennsylvania. Good for you, Adams. Decent amount. Oh, here comes October. Election month number 1. October passed with Americans eagerly waiting for the results. Everyone was ecstatic to see. Did Morris win a second term? Did Jay fix his ugly haircut? Is Adams gonna rise to the presidency? Well, on November 5th, the results came out. John Jay won. Whoa, what a shocker. Jay got 53% of the votes. Nice. Morris got 23%. What a glow down. Morris was actually not super upset about Jay's winning. Jay was a fellow New Yorker and grew up in a rich family, like Morris said. Morris said, if I do not win the election, I hope that my friend and political friend, John Jay, will be my successor. And he sure did. Adams got 21%, nearly going right into second place, but he didn't. Too bad, so sad. And finally, Pinckney, 3% is what he got, just like Morris in 1776 and Langdon in 1780. What's up with the people getting 3%, man? Cursed number. Pinckney was also not very upset and just accepted defeat like a man. Vice presidential elections started just 5 days later. The results came back on December 21st, right before Christmas. There's one candidate taking Jay's spot, and that is Alfred Moore, a 29-year-old North Carolinian dude with a nasty hairline. I could play tic-tac-toe on his forehead. Anyways, he was Attorney General of North Carolina. He was also unhealthy and reportedly had a diet consisting of chips. And the other 3 presidential candidates that lost, Adams, Morris, and Pinckney, all ran for vice president. So let's look. Wait, hold on. A tie? A tie occurred between Moore and Adams. This was bad news. No one actually stated what the heck will happen in this case, so they decided to call up the boy in Mount Vernon, Mr. Washington, to come and pick. Washington declined, however, saying that one's opinion should not decide this matter if a full country's opinion didn't get an answer. So Washington suggested get a big wheel, put Moore's and Adams' name on it an equal amount of times and spin it in front of the White House. The White House was built in 1782. I forgot to mention that. Then the wheel get an answer. Moore and Adams, but good 43%. Adams as well. Beyond furious, he actually sent a long letter to Moore preying on Moore's downfall. Adams basically said,
"So I am the villain."
Pinckney got 11% and Morris got, you won't believe it, 3%. Just like he did in 1776. I told you it was a cursed number. Jay and Moore both took the oath of office and were inaugurated on January 4. They both became the first president and vice president respectively. They entered the White House and both got to work. Did I mention Jay never asked for a barber to fix his haircut? Anyways, thank you for watching and have a great day. See ya in 7088, bud!